Good morning, good afternoon, or good whatever time it is when you're listening. Welcome to the March 3rd edition of your Inbox Last Night, delivering the weekend's fintech news before your Monday goes off the rails. We've got a packed show today. DOGE making waves in federal programs, the latest fintech power struggles, and AI taking over banking. But only kinda. Let's dive in. Federal update. The DOGE revolution? Hey, it's a dog-eat-dollar world out there, and apparently the federal government is getting in on the action. First up, global government Fintech is reporting that Trump-backed initiatives are pushing Dogecoin adoption in federal programs. That's right, Doge might be going mainstream, and while crypto advocates are celebrating, skeptics are bracing for volatility. Meanwhile, PenLev says Doge's stimulus checks are coming, but only for certain income brackets. If you thought explaining tax brackets was hard, wait until you try to explain why the government just paid you in a meme. And finally, Daily Herald reports that Doge has the IRS reconsidering how to audit benefits fraud. Blockchain transparency could help catch fraudsters, but privacy concerns are rising. Because nothing says financial freedom like your entire transaction history being permanently available for Uncle Sam to analyze. Let's check in with popular industry news sources. This Week in Fintech has a Fintech roundup covering funding rounds, regulatory shifts, and M&A drama. As you know, those are the things we don't cover here. This week is the best place to go for that info. Spoiler: neobanks are still trying to figure out how to stay profitable, and payments platforms are hoping regulators take a nap. Meanwhile, Fintech Business Weekly goes deeper into the FDIC and CFPB reversing key policies, offering fintech firms a regulatory breather. Banks love it, consumer groups hate it, and regulators are probably just trying to avoid another lawsuit. Last week, the weather report was watch for falling lawsuits. What will this week bring? And Rich Turns Cashless is not holding back, arguing that the US is falling behind China and Europe in fintech. Apparently, our regulatory hurdles are more like regulatory brick walls. He's calling for policy reforms before we end up competing with the fax machine industry. Turning now to crypto and Web3. Let's talk about the crypto world, where rules are made up, regulations are unclear, and it can feel like everything is either the future of finance or a complete scam. Fortune reports that the Trump bump is giving crypto a boost. Investors are feeling optimistic, but no one really knows how long that feeling will last, kind of like every bull market ever. Meanwhile, Electronic Payments International says WireXPay is expanding stablecoin payments in the US. More businesses are accepting crypto, but stablecoins are still facing regulatory challenges. And in big news for the meme coin traders, The Defiant reports that the SEC has ruled that meme coins are not securities because, quote, they don't generate a yield or convey rights to future income, profits, or assets of a business, unquote. Does this mean the argument will be centered around what will and will not be considered a meme coin? Well, crypto Twitter is celebrating, but analysts warn that enforcement risks are far from over. So keep those diamond hands strong, but maybe don't put your life savings into Pepecoin just yet. Oh, and Digital Transactions says Flexa has launched Tap to Pay for crypto transactions. The dream of buying a coffee with Bitcoin is getting closer, as long as you don't mind that it might cost you $300 or $300, depending on network congestion. Time for the AI and FinTech report. The robots are here, but not quite ready to run things. Is AI taking over FinTech? Well, kind of. Mostly, it's causing headaches. First, a quick word about our sponsor today. The Rundown AI is a comprehensive resource for all things AI. Please click on the link in our newsletter today to learn more. Supporting our sponsors helps keep this daily report free. A click will do it today. Okay, A16Z Fintech newsletter says AI-powered voice assistants are already changing banking. Banks are trying AI-driven financial advice, but customers are still a little wary because nothing says sound investment strategy like getting stock picks from a glorified Alexa. Fintech Brain Food says AI in finance is so difficult because, quote, we accept human decision makers who can't articulate their neural processes, yet we hold AI to an impossible standard, unquote. The view is that financial firms are struggling with AI adoption because of something called explainability. I don't know. The word explainability is a problem for me, but I'll get right on that. So, if you were hoping for AI to do all your financial planning for you, you might want to hold off before handing over your entire portfolio to ChatGPT for a bit. And Auto Finance News reports that Capital One is using agentic AI at dealerships to improve car sales and financing decisions. AI will supposedly help assess credit risk better, which means we're one step closer to having a robot tell you that your interest rate is too high. Come to think of it, I did hear a rumor about a very huge hedge funder who told his wife to go to the dealership to drop off a check for Francisco, only to have her told that Francisco is AI. Finally, the Fintech Times wants everyone to remember that AI can't replace human oversight in finance. Biased data, regulatory concerns, and the simple fact that AI still hallucinates make it a tricky tool. You'll note that last week, we wondered how you can root out bias when you cannot use the word bias, and that hasn't changed. Final bits and deep dives. A few more highlights before we wrap. Banking Dive reports that the CFPB dropped its lawsuit against Capital One, adding that bank to the list we gave you last week: Wells, Truist, and B of A. Payments Dive is tracking the reintroduction of the Durbin-Marshall Credit Card Competition Act, which could shake up interchange fees. We'll be staying on top of this grand battle of the lobbyists, as you know. We're also creating a drinking game to see how many times a congressman calls Visa and MasterCard credit card processors. The papers reports that Revolut doesn't have a license to operate in Ukraine. And if you're in the mood for a Stripe versus Adyen showdown, Fintech Wrap-Up has a deep dive on that battle for payments dominance. Merchants are weighing pricing, tech, and partnerships before deciding which side to take. That's a wrap for your inbox last night. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to become a member so we can add you to our private LinkedIn group for exclusive insights, deeper discussions, and the occasional fintech meme that will make you laugh while you cry over your portfolio. Until next time, keep your transactions secure, your meme coins profitable, and keep your avatar animated. Meet you back here tomorrow.